Before you leave home, make sure you do some planning so your visit will be a success. When possible, coordinate your trip with the offender and other family and friends, keeping in mind that depending on the offender's visitation status, most offenders are allowed only 2 adult visitors per visit per weekend. Children 17 years old and under are not counted in this total. It's also important that you verify the offender's unit of assignment, because offenders can be moved from one location to another for many reasons. Use the Offender Information Search tool, available on the Offender Visitation page of the TDCJ website, to verify the offender's location. This search engine also indicates whether the offender is eligible for visits. The TDCJ homepage may list visitation cancellations currently in progress at a facility. You may want to check with the offender to make sure you're identified as an approved visitor on their visitation list. If you are unsure, contact the unit for verification. Please be aware that every unit enforces a dress code. Shorts and skirts are allowed as long as they are no shorter than 3 inches above the knee. Although the length of shorts for pre-adolescent boys and girls younger than 10 is not restricted, be aware of the prison environment you will be entering when dressing children for the visit. Sleeveless shirts and dresses are allowed as long as they cover the shoulder. Sandals, flip-flops, and open-toed shoes are also permitted. Sheer clothing and clothes with profane or offensive content will not be allowed. The Family Liaison Officer will make the final decision concerning questionable clothing, so we encourage you to dress conservatively. For more detailed information about the dress code, visit the Offender Visitation page on the TDCJ website. Please make sure that everyone in your party has proper identification before leaving. All visitors 18 years old and older will need to bring a government-issued photo ID. Acceptable forms of identification include a state-issued driver's license, a Department of Public Safety ID card, an Armed Forces ID card, a passport, or an identification card such as a Visa Border Crossing ID card issued by the United States Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. You may be required to show an additional form of identification if it's questionable whether or not an ID is acceptable, such as a birth certificate, a credit card with a photo, or another official form of identification. At least one document must have a current physical address. Victims of family violence who have been issued a card identifying them as a crime victim are excused from this rule and are allowed to use a P.O. box as their current address. Keep in mind, children 17 years old and younger may be required to provide an ID, such as a birth certificate, a DPS ID, or a student ID if the child's age is questionable due to his or her physical maturity. For more information about the visitation dress code and identification requirements, go to the TDCJ website.